Hi, welcome to the May State of the Market. Thanks for joining. Ainsley won't be with us for this update, but she will be back next month. So what has happened this month? Well, the Reserve Bank increased the cash rate earlier in the month, which has been passed on by the lenders. What does it mean for next month though? Well, the unemployment data has recently come out and it was a bit higher than expected, as in unfortunately more people out of work. The silver lining to that bad news, I guess, the silver lining is there's less chance that the Reserve Bank will increase interest rates next month. So there might be a bit of a reprieve there. Let's see. The federal budget has come out. Proposed changes haven't gone through Parliament yet. Negative gearing, capital gains, around trusts. There's been a lot of discussion. Where do you start with that one? So we've certainly had a few inquiries about it. The upside is it does seem like it's going to make it a bit potentially easier for first home buyers to get into the market if prices, if the value of homes doesn't increase as much as it was due to, and that's one of the aims from the government. Again, has to go through Parliament, and with forecasting, we never know if that's going to happen. So yeah, that might make it, more of a question for some investors. For other investors, and again, we don't give financial advice. People can always talk to their financial planner or accountant. But if the capital growth is still likely to be strong, then I'm sure plenty of investors will still go ahead regardless, but let's see. As I say, on the first home buyer front, purchasing may get just that little bit easier, which will certainly help people get into the market. But we're also seeing upgraders, so people selling and buying who, they've outgrown the family home or their current family home. So if property prices don't go up as much as what was forecast due to some government change perhaps, then on one hand, someone might get less money selling, but then they might pay less when they're buying. So if they're buying and selling in the same market, may not make as big a difference. Yeah, we will see. But we're certainly seeing plenty of demand for people upgrading and people buying their first home. Other one I just want to mention is lender choice. I just feel like it's more important than ever. So even in the last week, a couple of examples, we had a casual employee who's been in a couple of roles for over a year, but she took a couple of months off over Christmas to visit family. And with most lenders, you need to have like the last 6 months of history in that role. And if there's a big gap, it may not be possible to use that income, or it gets annualized since, say, the 1st of July last year. So having a 2-month gap can really impact it. But in this instance, there was a lender that, with a good explanation, it was okay to take the income over the last, 3.5 months, knowing that there was a gap that isn't usually there. And it makes a big difference with the borrowing capacity that we need. So, and then another case, we had some customers where the age of the children and how many years of private school fees were left, and then the grandparents helping with the fees. And some banks, then, we don't need to then take the school fees into account because the parents are not paying the fees, they're being paid by others. So lender choice and having over 30 lenders is more important than ever right now to find solutions for our customers. Yeah, so what are we seeing? First home buyers, upgraders, we're seeing quite a bit of activity. Investors, a little bit less at the moment. And we'll see what happens with the budget when it, if it gets passed through the Senate. But at the end of the day, people still want to buy, people still want to sell, and government rules will be the government rules, whichever way gets voted on, I guess, in Parliament. And that's how, everyone will have to adapt. So onwards and upwards until the end of June. Look forward to the next update. Thank you.